Mekakushi Rewind contains both spoilers and profanity. Be warned.
So, hi, this is episode 00, the additional episode,
Woo.
because we're going to be starting it off with my favorite girl.
Ayano Tateyama.
Right. Oh, right, I should probably, like, post something like, oh yeah, we're live, like, right now.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm not gonna add everybody, because I don't know, that sounds annoying, but episode 0, the additional... Oh gosh, I'm so pro at this. Episode is...
Are we going to be using the questions in that channel?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll say we're live right now, currently recording and trying our best.
Very well put.
And then that smile cry emote. Alright. So I don't know. What introduced you to Ayano Tateyama?
You, actually.
Well, before me.
Probably... I remember I watched the first episode of the anime before anything, so probably the anime. Even though that's technically, not her.
I mean, it kind of was her, like for
Kinda.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
If you don't include the parts that were, like, flashbacks, from, like, Shintaro's point of view or something,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think I already told you, but for the audience, what introduced me to Ayano was one of my friends. My friend Bree, who introduced me to the series, said, Ayano, it reminds me of you. And I was like, me, the, egotistical, was like, moi? I decided to search her up. And then I remember looking in status, it was deceased. And I was like, great! And that was my first...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to Ayano Tateyama.
Your fate was sealed on that day.
It was. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to remember that sort of... how to describe the feeling I had after seeing that a character related to me was fucking dead. I was like, it's great. I probably shouldn't look into it.
Yeah.
And then here I am 4 years later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Not only have you looked into it, you've created so much content atop what's already existing.
I guess. I mean, there's a lot of Ayano stuff out there. I'm just like...
There is.
In a circle jerk of Ayano deserved better, but it's whatever. But yeah, if you aren't aware, for whatever reason, this is... I probably should have done this earlier, oh my god. This is Ruth, excellent artist.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Fuck.
Aw, that's sweet.
This is Ruth? Yes.
Yeah, and this is Danny, our host, our great host, the Ayano fanatic. Also a wonderful artist.
Oh, wow. It's pretty hat, dude. Can't believe that.
Wow.
Ruth here has seen too much, knows too much.
Wow.
And is currently being held at gunpoint throughout our recording. So, they know not to...
Yeah, that's true. Please help me.
So that they don't say anything. Yeah.
Please help.
Ruth and I met because in 2013 to 2014, after I was introduced to Ayano, little freshman me was like, I should like, I don't know, go on Tumblr and like roleplay as Ayano. Ooh woo. I mean, 4 years later, I'm still doing that, but that's not important.
Yeah. It's true. And you know what? You're one of the best that I know.
Oh,
So,
brother. Brother! Yeah, and Ruth, you can like triangulate your history if you want to. I won't I won't put your life story on here unless you want me to.
no, it's just like, got into Kagerou because of my best friend, and now I'm hecking here. After many roleplay vlogs later, I'm here, still, crying over all of our characters.
Yeah. But, yes, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, shall we? Ayano. So, Ayano Tateyama. The reason why I created this first episode is because Ayano is probably my most knowledgeable part of... It's probably what I know best about Kagerou Project because I was so hyper-fixated on her for so long. Arguably, still am, but, might as well. Arguably. I'm not that fixated anymore. I mean, I'm still like, yeah, Ayano. But I'm not like, Ayano! Like I was 4 years ago. So, as everyone probably knows, Additional Memory was the latest PV that came out about Ayano not too long ago.
What a heckin' banger.
It is a banger. Man, Jin's grown so much. It's so good.
He really has. I'm so proud of him.
I know. He's such a swole boy now. He's a Vocaloid Chad. God. It's true. Can you believe, didn't, Jinzo Enemy, his first song, come out in, 2012 or something?
Yeah.
6-year glow up.
He's come such a long way in just 6 years. It's really wild.
Honestly, yeah. To be fair, until, a few days ago, I didn't know that he actually made stuff that wasn't Kagerou Project related. I didn't know. I thought he was oh yeah, he's the Kagerou guy. I didn't actually know he made non-Kagerou stuff. Please don't burn me at the stake. I'm not a...
Oh, good luck with that.
No, I'm not a Jin stan. I'm an Ayano stan. But yeah.
That's fair.
So with the release of Additional Memory, there's been many speculations dude, Ayano, sad boy. Wow, I'm really articulating this one. There's a lot. And
there is. There's so much about Ayano at this point, and it's grown a lot since the first few novels and the first few manga volumes.
Right.
There wasn't much content about her. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were
we have a whole song about her. It's great.
Yeah. Because before Additional Memory, all we really had was, I guess, in media, all we had were flashbacks. Shintaro's snake, Yaki, as we'll call her in future episodes, starting now. And Ayano's Theory of Happiness, which itself is a banger for, all the opposite reasons from Additional Memory. Yeah. So until then, many of Ayano's, I guess, flaws, tragic characteristics, sad boy hours, were all just speculation from people like me who were too invested in her character. Back then, we had to do the cooking and the cleaning. Jin didn't do any of that. For all we knew, Ayano was just she's a smiling dead GF of Shintaro, and she's always in the background of all the Mekakushi Dan drawings, half transparent and shit. Yeah.
Big oof.
It's true. I mean, for the most part, she really was just a plot device because, again, her death was essential for the direction of the story, as I've seen many a time for justifications of her death.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we had for a long time. It was there wasn't a lot of content surrounding her besides besides the few flashbacks, like you said, and Ayano's theory of happiness, which, like, it's not really an updated perspective of what she's gone through, because it was right before she threw herself into the haze.
Essentially.
So, so additional memory, like, it really puts everything, like, into perspective as to, like, what she was going through past what everybody told us already.
Right. So,
Yeah.
starting off with our first question, because Ayano dies on so many routes. If you haven't been caught up with the manga, and you don't want to be spoiled, leave right now. Stop.
Yeah.
Get some help and read the manga. Because we're going to talk about Route M, which is essentially the English fan-given name for Ayano. Ayano's fucking pissed, essentially. So we'll answer. This essentially covers our first question, which goes under Virgo Testified. He asked, what route do you think goes best for Ayano? Obviously, she dies in most, but are there routes where she doesn't any better for her? An interesting question, because as far as we know, there is only one route where she hasn't died. Well, actually, no, she dies in every single route, actually. But the one where she doesn't stay, quote-unquote, dead, aka in the haze forever, would be the anime and the manga route. The latest manga route, Route M.
So far, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, the hard thing
You
about,
never know.
writing meta about this now, especially with, again, additional memory and stuff, is that Kagerou Pro's always updating. That caption with the all caps in red, Kagerou Project will never end, that shit's true. It's real.
So true.
It is real. Because anything I say today might be, completely disregarded as soon as Mekakushi Reload comes out.
Oh yeah, for real. So excited though.
Wait, is it Mekakushi Reload? No, it was Additional Reload, right? No, it was...
Isn't it Mekakushi Reload?
I think it was, but I'm getting... You know how many times I got our title?
Oh, the true experts here.
It's true. I know what parts I'm gonna delete. Snap. This is going in my cringe compilation. But, let me see. It was Mekakushi Reload. You know how many times I got the name of this podcast mixed up with Mekaku City Reload? I mean, Rewind. Wow.
Oh, rip.
Wow.
Wow. Good job.
Wow. It be like that, fellas.
It really do.
It's Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Let me see just real quick, those, because I don't want to say it incorrectly for, the rest of my life. Because that would be pretty bad. I'm 90% sure. It's Mekakushi. No, it's Mekaku City Reload. We played ourselves.
Oh. Okay. Well, heck.
Great. I'm gonna delete the last 10 minutes of this. It's gonna be great.
Okay, sure.
So, yeah.
That's fair.
Mekaku City Reload, as we said since the beginning of this recording. Yeah, it could pretty much change everything because, again, additional memory, a game changer for many people, is going to be part of it. Additional. Wow.
What are you struggling with now?
Song titles. Wow, I don't know anything. I mean, I've read through them.
Wow.
Anyway, also deleting that.
Yeah, I don't know any of them except for additional memory.
Well, it's speculated that Ayano's gonna have... Well, she already has a song. Wow. It is 7:26 in the morning. Forgive me. But Mary's gonna have
That's
a song.
Excuse.
Haruka may have a song.
Her mind blew.
Speculation... Oh, wait, really? You think that's Haruka's song?
Oh, that's what I've heard. As the most popular theory, at least.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, they'll probably get confirmation
Oh, please, I
because
beg.
Remind Blue and its lyrics have been like speculated to be multiple people's song, but who knows? Who knows? Again,
Oof,
my
another summertime record.
yeah, pretty much. And my funny weekend, which many people will assume isn't funny at all. Yeah,
That's supposed to be a Momo song, right?
it is. You know, like
I heard.
who even knows, brother? Like I don't know anything anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna
This is
have
all speculation.
yeah.
We don't know yet.
I've been casually having like a look over all of them. Like, oh yeah, that's a good theory. Or like, yeah, that color splash there looks like a character's motif color, but who knows? But yes, wow, Virgo's question, which we've completely derailed from. Which route do I think goes best for Ayano? Personally, as messed up as it is, I think Route M so far has been the best route because even if she is, even though she pretty much goes through a whole 180 from what's expected of her from Ayano's theory of happiness, she still like reconciles with her siblings and they're still fine. Hey. Well, for the most part. I mean, Kito's dead, but you know, like if you ignore that. Oh man, if you ignore that bit, like it's pretty good. It's pretty fine.
My Discord just crashed for like a minute.
Oh, basically, I think Route M is probably the best route for Ayano as a character because she pretty much has for the longest time before Additional Memory, that was also all we had about Ayano being more than just a smiling, happy character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has.
That's fair, I think.
She has like. She dies, obviously, at the same time as her parents. She sees like she pretty much is given. Like, you know, fucking Full Metal Alchemist, where, like, Edward sees the history of everything and anything, and, like, that's basically what happens to her in the haze. And then she comes back, and she sees her little sister Mary, who she previously adored and cared for, and realizes that she, too, is part of the whole snake thing that's pretty much killed and taken away her parents. So, like, it makes sense to me. What happened to her as a character.
It's fair. It's just unfortunate that was the only way Jin could show different sides of Ayano.
Yeah. I mean, what would Jin like if it's not in a PV? Like, beggars can't be choosers. Everyone in the Western fandom is just reaching. We're just feasting on the scraps we've been given. It really be like that, but that's for another episode.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I would say the much disliked but much respected anime route, because Ayano isn't dead and not nearly as traumatized for her as a person. Anyways, I think that's the best route for her because yeah, she's happy.
That is true, yeah.
Arguably happy. I mean, I've covered, like, oh man, like, Ayano's back from the haze after 2 years. Oh boy. Because, I mean, Jin's probably never going to cover that route ever again. But, you know, there's a lot of speculation. For her as a person, as far as canon is concerned, yeah, that's the best route for her. Of course, I like to think that, you know, it wasn't all that good. Because I am a sucker for angst, and also Ayano's legally dead, so how the heck is she going to make a comeback from that? But otherwise, I mean, you know, if Jin says it's good, I mean, it's probably good, right? Right? Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. The anime route is most definitely, like, the one that goes the best, in quotes, for most of the cast, honestly. I don't know that much about Rudem, I have to admit, but from what I've heard, it's probably the most that we've seen of Ayano, past everything else, really, that we've been shown.
I mean, I guess you could argue that, like, the PV route, which is going on, is one of the... I don't know which route, because, again, the music videos, they don't just cover one route, they cover... Well, I would assume most of them cover Route 01, Route 1,
Yeah.
which is, I guess, considered the alpha route, but we don't know that for sure. We can only make speculation. But I'm assuming that additional memory applies to Route 1 Ayano, but I can also see that it would have, like, I can also see the thought that it may apply to every Ayano that dies in high school, you know, because Route M, she can die at different times, apparently, but in the instances that Ayano dies freshman to sophomore year in high school, yeah, I would think additional memory takes place. Also because Jin's been really into edgy sad Ayano lately, which is like a banger, but also like, please try harder, you know?
Yeah.
Next question coming up is from Love is Stored in the Cat, also known as Melody. Melody asks, does Ayano know that I love her and would die for her? Because I do. Ayano, if you're out there, Ayano knows. She knows. She knows.
She always knows.
It's true. She'll never admit it, but she, deep down in her heart, she knows there's a lesbian out there who's thirsting for her. For her heart. For her smile. Next question. Next question is from Yooms. My fella, my bro. They ask, how much of the real Ayano do we know? We know that Kano pretended to be her for quite often during her high school years, which also brings into question just how well Shintaro, Haruka, and Takane actually knew her. That is an excellent question, I think, because Jin is never clear. He is never clear about the whole Kano impersonating as Ayano so much that it led the entire fandom to think that Ayano wasn't even real. But you know, like...
Oh.
That was such a mess.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, for the longest time, they were like, is Shania even a thing if Kano acted as, like, Ayano the whole time? Okay.
Wow.
I know. I mean, to be fair, Ayano already, from the get-go, didn't really show a side of her to all her friends to begin with. She always, like, was smiley and happy around her friends, even if she was struggling with, like, minor things or major things like the death of her mother. So already, before Kano's even introduced into the picture, they only know, like, a more superficial side of her. And
for sure,
even then, I mean, I guess you can think that, oh man, maybe, like, Ayano and Takane had, like, a bro moment, you know? We can only hope. Or they actually talk about things, at least small things, like, you know, like, oh dude, you aren't looking so hot today, bro, like, how's it going? Oh man, Shintaro said I sucked. Oh dude, I'll punch his nuts in. Like, we can only dream.
Yeah, like, Jin never really makes it clear what flashbacks of Ayano are her and what are not her. Mm-hmm. So, in the event that Kano was impersonating her in those times, we would have no idea. We're screwed.
I mean,
that's the bottom line with a lot of Ayano things.
It's true. I mean, you can probably tell. We can probably, like, try to look through all the flashbacks. If it's in middle school, that's obviously Ayano. If it's in high school, however, and Ayano...
Yeah, that's when stuff gets pretty murky.
Yeah. I mean,
And from what it sounds like, it happened really often. So,
I mean,
heck, you know?
yeah, I would say her first, her suicide happened around freshman year to sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, the fact that she took summer classes is also murky because that could just be Kano acting in as Ayano as she investigates during.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Yeah. But her times in class, that of course is a more murky time. I would say the times when Ayano is more bashful about Shintaro would probably be the real Ayano, because at the time Kano's like, for all you,
So salty.
yeah, he's an angry boy. Sorry, Kano Shin. Kano Shin, guys. I would say probably again post Ayano's actual death is when they would actually possibly have a thing. But before, no, probably not. But otherwise, yeah, it's really hard to tell. Maybe Jin will finally clear it up someday, but until then,
he won't.
Yeah. Similar question from Yumes. How do you think the characters closest to Ayano, example Shintaro, Kano, Takane, Kenjiro, each viewed her? And how do these views differ from each other's? Which one is the closest to the quote-unquote real Ayano, or did anyone even know her at all? Huh.
I feel like, well, with Kenjiro, like, with your parents, you don't show that much of yourself, especially if you know that he's being impersonated by a snake, but you know. But I feel like since she's not in school, Kana wouldn't be impersonating her as often. So I feel like it'd be safer to say that, like, during the daytime. Do they know that that he's being impersonated specifically at nighttime?
In the anime it's implied, yeah. During the daytime. Okay. I mean, when she's not in school, yeah, like.
Yeah.
But
it seems like it'd be the easiest.
Right, and he's
to assume.
Well,
yeah.
For the most part, though, she is in school. Like, you know, she. Well, Kano's acting for her in school. We would also assume that Kenjiro is also acting. I mean, he's also teaching during the daytime for Takane and Haruka. So, for the fact that Takane and Haruka would obviously relay the information to Kenjiro that, like, oh, Ayano wasn't in class today, you know, for the non-summertime events, then yeah, she would, that would definitely be Kano, I would assume. Closer, well, for the months leading up to her death. I would say at the beginning of the year that would still be the real Ayano, but, who knows, man?
It's difficult to tell.
Yeah, I would say Kenjiro. Also, even if he wasn't possessed, he still has, like, that dad point of view, you know? Like, oh, that's my precious daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my girl. I would say that he remembers most of childhood Ayano than teenage Ayano. The one that, you know, wasn't sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second up, I feel like as much as she relies on Kano, I don't think he knows her as well in those last few, well, that last year, I guess, because she's not really telling him that much, is she?
No, she hid a lot from him as well. I don't think he really knew what was going on while he was acting as Ayano. He just trusted her.
Yeah. So I would say probably Takane, second up.
Yeah, Takane probably knew her. Hopefully, probably knew her the most, unless she hid as much from Takane as she did Shintaro, in which case, never mind.
Yeah, for real.
To be fair, Takane knew a boot. She knew about Ayano's feelings towards Shintaro, but otherwise, she didn't really know anything else at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. which is sad, but you know, like what can we do? And then
Haruka, we don't even see her interaction with him, so heck.
as far as we know, that was also Kano, remember? In the flashbacks in the novel,
Yeah.
that was Kano.
Big oof.
Oh my god.
Oh, kill me.
Jin, please, you're killing us.
Oof.
You're tearing us apart.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Shintaro.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-suicide, he didn't know
pretty-
anything about Ayano. The end.
Yeah, basically.
He knew, like, he didn't even remember her birthday. And he has photographic memory, so, like, come on,
Really?
fella. Yeah, it's in canon, like,
Are you serious?
was it in the manga? Yeah, he's like, he canonically forgot Ayano's birthday, and I'm like,
That's messed up.
please try harder, please, please. I mean,
Oh, big oof.
even then, when she comes back from the haze, again, in the anime, they don't even talk. Like, they sit on a bench and sweat. That's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
They were, like, just sitting on a bench, and they were about to talk, and then they never talked. Like, sure, like, throughout the roots, he would, like, know some things about her pre-suicide, but, like, again, she never really talked to him about that.
Yeah.
And
Up until
yeah.
the point that his power starts to activate, he doesn't know pretty much anything about her.
Yeah, it isn't until, say, Root M, where she, like, oh yeah, this is what happens, and he's like, bro, what the fuck? You killed your brother? And then, like, he even roasts her, I remember, like, because that's what an older sibling would do. I was like, oh shit, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit, dude.
Jeez.
Man, kiss the cook, because Shintaro was grilling, because, gosh dang. It was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. As much as I don't know, I was like, oh shit, dude, he got you there. Oh man.
Yeah.
So, if I'm gonna be real, nobody really knew Ayano, which is probably the saddest thing.
Yep.
Nobody really knew her, at least pre-suicide, at least, which is really sad.
It seriously is. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, once she comes back, I guess you would have an opportunity to be like, hey, I actually felt this way, and people were like, oh, really? You should have told us. She's like, well, sorry, dude, I kind of died. Yeah, so that's the answer to Yoon's question, and I'm depressed.
Big mood.
Last question would be from Zakami Tesro, who asked, which root has the strongest Ayano, and which root's Ayano would murder every other Ayano to prove she is the best Ayano? There can only be one best big sister. Root M Ayano would kill. I mean, I've already
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, she would already kill Mary, I mean, and she's already killed herself, so, like, just saying, she would most definitely kill all the other Ayanos to prove that she is the best older sister. And yeah, that's the questions we have so far. Ruth, do you have any?
Ayano Gladiator,
Please.
What?
Ayano Royale.
Yeah.
What questions?
Do I have any questions?
Yeah, do you have any questions, speculations, hopes for the future, guesses for the future?
Please, show us Ayano and Haruka interact. I'm begging you, Jin. That's all I want.
Give us the meat.
Yeah. I don't know, like, there's I think it's become a lot clearer what happened to her, in this past year.
Right.
But there's still a lot that we just don't know about her, because like you said, nobody knew her that well.
Yeah.
And we never really get it from her perspective until, I assume, Root M. I haven't read it.
Oh, well, you should probably read it. It's pretty messed up, dude.
Right up my alley.
Yeah. Again, additional memory does give some insight into her thoughts.
Yeah, that also.
Which is like, wow. Mistakes were made.
Oof.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
And she's sad.
The biggest possible oof.
It really is. But it's a banger, so like, hey. Hey.
I'm so mad at how good that song sounds, even though I'm crying.
I think everyone would agree. It's a really sad Bob. It really be like that. But
What about you, though? I'm sure you have lots of stuff to say about her.
I mean, I've kind of said it and spread it out over the span of 4 years, but
Yeah, that's true.
I'm really glad that Ayano finally became something more than man pain for both Shintaro and Kano. I will never stop saying that because, again, it's a very popular trope for a young childhood crush or like maternal models to die off to be like fuel for the protagonist or whatever male character they had in the past to like have something to fight for or fight against. So it's nice that Jin is finally, after 4 years, giving her something other than
Jin calling himself out.
it's true. Well, he's finally making up for it, but that's just the tea. People can disagree, and that's fair. I mean, you're inclined to have your own opinion, even if it's wrong. But just saying, like.
So.
Otherwise, I'm pretty sure after this, if Jin doesn't pull off any moves, doesn't pull any punches of like, oh yeah, Ayano's also a goth or something. I'm pretty sure this is as far as he'll go with Ayano for at least a good while. Because
that's true.
I think he's focusing on the other characters for now. Like Mary.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And other side characters.
He's saturated us with Ayano content, so he's gonna move on for a little while.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come back and give us the Haruka Ayano content.
Please. They've had the least amount.
I beg.
They've had so little interactions. Like, the UK Quartet's so close. No. Everyone else is close except for Ayano and Haruka. Like, it's true.
Yeah.
And I am sad. I want to see my happy sunshiny duo cry together for one.
Yeah.
They're both repression AF, and it'd be like that. I'm sad because I remember we talked about it, and Konoha and Ayano have more chemistry than Haruka and Ayano, and that's sad.
Gosh. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. I don't know, like, there's so many pictures of them, as a group of 4 laughing together, but, like, those two, they really are just acquaintances as far as we know.
Yeah, like, even then, there isn't much to cover about them because Jin hasn't really given us anything. I mean, you could argue that they both...
And for that, I'll fight him.
They both repress their emotions. They try to hide it off with a smile. They're both dying. I mean, they both died at the same time. They both like hard-headed, edgy people. And, well, different, but Shintaro and Takane are obviously very different. But if you don't look close enough, they fall under the same niche. One's more redeemable than the other, but I won't get into that. Episode 7.
Not yet.
Episode 7 will be I roast Shintaro for an hour in the episode.
Oh, bless. That's all we need, really.
Yeah, but Shintaro stands scare me. So, I understand. I'm pouring this one out for you guys. Otherwise, I think we may have covered everything, dude.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright.
This is what Jin gave us to work with, and we did it.
Yeah, maybe in 5 years we'll have an updated episode about Ayano being like, wow, she's still sad.
Look at all of the things that she did. Yeah.
Wow, Jin did everything else except touch up on Ayano. Woo!
Yeah.
But I'm kind of resigned at this point. I've accepted this fate. So when Additional Memory came out, I was like, oh, I already gave up. I wasn't as happy as I should have been. I was like, there's more. It took me so long to actually appreciate Additional Memory as it was, because I was like, oh wow, Jin finally caved in, huh? Wow. I'm so bitter.
Wow. You have every reason to be, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
She had such like she really drew the short stick in terms of character development and stuff.
Yeah, but until Haruka finally gets that song he deserves, like, Ayano is probably in the clear for now.
Yeah.
And don't
Until
even...
then,
yeah.
Jin,
And,
I'll be waiting for you.
and we shouldn't even talk about Hiyori, because, wow. No, Ayaka.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Ayaka.
Jeez, man. All of these characters that he just has not touched at all.
Yeah.
It's so messed up.
I guess the person in absolutely last place in regards to character development, or just being a character at all, would be Mary's dad.
Oh boy. Shion, that boy.
Shion, yeah.
You know... Wait, is that his name? No, is it?
No.
It's Tsukihiko.
Yes. That's Mary's grandfather.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, her father.
Her father.
That's right.
Her dad. Yeah, he doesn't even have a name.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why, but, like, I guess it's because the only time I've seen, like, this isn't relevant at all to Ayano.
That's fine.
But, the only time I've seen Mary's backstory is in the anime, which is, like, so muddled past any sort of coherency.
I think
that I just, they're all the same character.
I think they cover it in the manga for a bit. But again, the most we see of Mary's dad, Shion's husband, is in the anime, and he's like a grayed out, muddled human character. So,
Right.
Yeah, to be fair, the Kozakuras is a matriarchal family. Like, it's the ladies who are important. Yeah.
It's true.
Also, how did Tsukihiko?
Yeah.
How did he build an entire house so quickly for Azami? Like, wow.
Yeah, he didn't even age.
Honestly, what's his skincare routine, dude? Because, damn. He's such a Chad. Like, how did Azami land it so... I mean, I guess she deserves it. After everything, she deserves a good hubby like him. But, like, where did he come from? What's his backstory? He just, like, literally popped up one day. And Azami was like, hey, that's pretty good. Yeah. But, anyhow... thank you, Ruth, for joining me in this conquest of sorts.
Of course. I love hearing about Ayano. It's my favorite pastime.
Aw, B. If you enjoyed, which you should, enjoyed listening to Ruth, you should follow Ruth on Graphite on White, no spaces, hyphens, dashes, underscores, just Graphite on White, on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, promo.
Free promo.
And yeah, thank you for listening to us babble about Ayano for however long it still is after I edit the heck out of this recording.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have so much work to do. Good luck with that.
Yeah. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next episode. The first actual episode. Episode number 1. Yeah.